What's up, guys? Welcome back to another UAP Talk episode and another Screw Up Sessions slash No New Friends UAP collaboration. We have another very special guest joining us here today. She is the current courtside reporter for Far Eastern University. Please welcome Jury Marasigan. Welcome to the show.
Um,
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, we're so excited to
yeah,
have
bro.
you here with us. All right, so you're new this season. This is your first season as the courtside reporter of FEU. So I'm sure it wasn't an easy journey. I'm sure it was a long and very fulfilling because you ended up with the gig. So do you want to tell us a bit about how did this happen? What made you decide to apply? What was it like? What was the application process like? How did you get to where you are now?
Okay, so it's a very long story. So I think we should go back to season 84 where it all started. So during season 84, that's my first encounter with UAAP because I grew up abroad. So there's no like one sports by that time. Like when I was growing up abroad, there was no one sports. And then season 84, I went back home here to Philippines, and then that's where like UAAP really blew up because of Kai Dave and like because of uh different like and them kasing correspondence that time. So like it was an exposure for everyone. And then season 85, that's when I started senior high school. So I studied at NU Laguna. So when I studied there, we were required to watch UAEP games to support NU. So like you would go to MOA in a bus, ganyan. So I watched my first ever live UAAP game. It was NU versus UST. And I really loved like the crowd, like the energy, like yung mga dances pa nila, ganyan. Tapos may nakita ako si Ate Jerry Medina. She was there sa side, tapos parang she was doing her pre-game report ata. And then, sabi ko, meron palang ganun, no? Like, ganun pala yung ginagawa ng mga courtside reporters. Like, from seeing it on, like, social media and on TV during season 84, dun ko nakita yung ginagawa talaga in real life. So, parang, dun ako nag-push na parang, okay, I'll work for this. Parang, I want to be there. I love sports. I love talking also. I love being in front of the camera. So, why not? So, fast forward, I studied in FEU. Um, I, I studied in FEU because my course at first was international studies. And international studies is only available in Ateneo, LaSalle, and FEU, I think, for UAP schools. And then, ayun, I wasn't able to get in LaSalle because I applied for a double major, and it's so hard to get in a double major course. So I just went with FEU. And then with my course in international studies, I ran for the position of a secretary in our organization. So parang there's political parties. So um, in that secretary position, I have an opposition, right? Then I was like, when the election was like running, I was like, okay, if I lose, this is not for me. I'm gonna transfer or I'm gonna shift courses. So it's either I'm gonna transfer to LaSalle or I'm gonna shift a course. And then suddenly I lost by only 6 votes. That's just like a handful of people. Then that's where I decided, okay, it's not for me. Maybe I should try something, like try other things. And then I was like depressed for a while because I was like really looking for like the right path. Like I felt so lost. And then that's when I saw the post of UAP Varsity Channel looking for correspondence. And I was like, okay, I'm in my second year now. Maybe I should try. And then the whole month from July to like almost the end of July, I was just preparing. I was watching videos. I was watching like yung mga nasa YouTube or mga TikTok na saying tips about applying for being a correspondent. And then um, ayun, I started making my spiels or like my script for the audition video. And then, parang second to the last day ata ng auditions, like July 29 ata, then August 1 yung end ng auditions. That's when I submitted my application video. Tapos nakailang retakes ako and stuff. Tapos when I sent it, sabi ko, okay, bahala na. Tapos like my CV pa nun, it's very empty. Like my CV, like I feel like I'm so inexperienced. But then after a few weeks, I got an email back saying na I'm up for another audition, the face-to-face audition. And then, grabe, ang dami kong iniyak talaga during the whole process of the audition. And then, ayun, the day of, ang daming parang hindrance, parang hindi ako nakapag-print nung name tag ko, tapos nakalimutan kong dalhin yung laptop kasi I wasn't able to print my CV. Basta ang daming parang stressful things happening to me. And then, ayun, tapos during my audition pa, super hassle, or like parang super pangit ng performance ko. Well, that's how I think of it. Kasi parang nag-impromptu ako during my audition. Eh sabi nila, oh, just know that when we pick you, you should never ever do impromptus. Tapos shocks, nagkamali ako. I would never get chosen. But then, parang waiting game, that's the hardest part. Kasi I know they don't email you if you don't get in. Parang you just never know. Tapos, ayun, like parang someone called me. It was someone from our school saying na, like parang siya na nauna. Like, UAEP didn't send me anything. Parang sinabi lang nila na, oh, you have a workshop this day, ganyan. So sabi ko, oh, okay, baka madami pa kami nun during that workshop. But then, yun nga, someone from my school called me, tapos parang sabi, oh, did you know that you're the correspondent na talaga? Ganyan. Sabi ko, what? No way. There's no way. Tapos, grabe, nag-breakdown ako. I have a reaction video pa nun. Like, iyak talaga ako. I went to my mom. I hugged my mom, saying and crying na I made it in. Tapos, ayun, until I just waited till the workshop to like get it confirmed. Kasi I really can't believe it. So, ayun, that's my whole process. Talagang super long process, emotional process siya. Very, very insane.
I
And
think,
look where you are now, di ba? You're
Yeah.
the
yeah, parang
correspondent.
people have this like notion na when bad things happen, like it's leading up to something good. Diba?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know why. Like it's the opposite. When good things are happening, you're like, okay, something's about to go really bad. But then since all those little things were happening to you in the process, baka that was like preparing you for the challenge of, actually getting the gig. And look where you ended up. Sakto pa. Yeah.
Yeah, the process is no joke din pala. Because we rarely hear like, the actual process that you guys go through. Like, first time ko marinig na hindi pala pwede mag-impromptu. Like, when
Yeah.
you're doing,
Yeah.
I was like,
I also
wow.
assumed that like, oh, they actually make you say like whatever you want, and then you just say a lot of stuff, and then they test it from there. But you have a piece pala that you have to follow
Yeah.
and read.
You have to do a script or a report. Tapos you have to report it on the spot, like after making it. Like they give you like 1 to 2 minutes to write it. Then you're gonna report it. Tapos I did impromptu kasi I felt like it was so short. Then, yeah, it was not allowed.
Yeah, and also I love how you said nga you had a reaction video pa when you got in. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's something that you look back on fondly and seeing where you are now, diba? So that's pretty cool. And hopefully this will be also like a video you could look back on also when you're reminiscing about like talking about your experience as a correspondent. So that's pretty cool. Ayun. So, while doing all of that, di ba very hectic yung process ninyo and all that, but also, you're also a student. So, also having to juggle your responsibilities, as a student, and then yung correspondent duties mo and all that. But you mentioned earlier, like before we started, na you're in the comm course. So
Yeah.
very, very fitting to to be a correspondent nga. So I'm sure marami kang na-apply sa course mo, di ba? Parang in a way, it's like a really cool OJT in a way. Parang you're really in the field talaga and getting experience. And not just experience, but like actual like experience that matters in a way, diba? So ayun, how did your course like help you throughout your journey as a courtside reporter?
Okay, so ayun nga, I shifted. Kasi diba, I
Mm.
said na if I lose, I'm gonna shift or transfer. So I shifted from the international studies to com. And then right now, it's helping me so much, especially with like broadcasting stuff. Because I have a broadcasting subject. Tapos, dun na parang nade-develop or mas na-enhance lalo yung skills ko when it comes to speaking or writing. Like, hindi lang sa sports kasi, like, it's not just with my course, it's not just about sports. It's like very, very wide. So we do filming also, script writing. We do like writing ng not just about sports journalism, but other things also. And I feel like with my course, that's how I build my confidence. Kasi yun talaga yung plan ko actually. Mag-shift muna ako ng com, and then if it doesn't work out, or like parang mag-shift muna ako ng com. Then if I don't get in this season, I'll just use com as like a step or like a tool to like enhance first my skills so I can become a correspondent. Pero wala, I'm doing it right now, both of them. And I'm so lucky to do that. And yeah, yun, that's just how com is helping me, especially with communicating with other people. Kasi both in com and with my work, parang I have to socialize talaga. I have to, really get along with others. And I think it's helping me a lot naman.
Yeah, let alone, having to also like interact with, like guys, like athletes, basketball players. I'm sure it's not something you're probably used to. I don't know if I'm assuming,
Bro,
pero
no, without being like a fan, right? Like without
yeah.
like keeping your composure when you're like, oh, I know this athlete. They're
So
talking to me like one on one, right? Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. And I like what you said nga, yung kunyari if you didn't get in, parang at least you could still use like your course nga like as a like parang training in a way or like a stepping stone like you said. So eventually if you do get in, at least you would know na you would do really well, diba?
Yeah.
But lo and behold, you got in, so now you're doing both at the same time, and I'm sure it's like really, you know, you're really getting a lot of valuable experience talaga. It's very important. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, your CV ain't gonna be empty now.
yeah. I
It's
think
gonna
I
be like, what's on TV? Oh, okay.
no, it was on TV.
No, di ba?
Plain.
They just put the logo of like FEU there and then the UP logo.
May video portfolio ka na. Yeah, ganun.
Yeah, just like send in like a file and then when they play it, it's like all the highlights, the whole of
Yeah,
both
yeah.
the basketball and volleyball season. But do you think if you didn't shift to com that you still would have tried to be a
Ooh, yeah. Actually,
correspondent? I was curious about this. Like I was like,
mm,
Well, when I auditioned, my course was still international studies. Then when I got in, that's when I shifted to com. So I feel like even if I did get in and I'm still in international studies, I feel like I would be able to handle it. Pero mas mahihirapan lang ako, I think. Kasi international studies kasi it's very writing heavy, exam heavy. Talagang napupuyat talaga ako doon with like studying. Pero with com kasi, it's more on production eh. So I'm like more sanay. Because my niche or like, forte ko talaga yung production talaga, like application talaga. I'm not book smart. But I don't know why I took international studies. Pero yeah, I feel like that's the difference lang.
I'm sure you do well pa rin. Kasi actually, yung fellow correspondents mo, diba, some of them came from like courses that are
Yeah.
like out
it's
of
so far away from
field.
what
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
engineering, diba, architecture, like crazy how you guys are able to juggle everything. So yeah, kaya yan, diba?
Yeah, and I feel like having that love for sports also really
Yeah.
does help. Diba? Because it helps like transition you from being just like a viewer to somebody who has to like talk about it. Because there's already analysis going on when you're watching sports like as a fan, diba? So it's kind of also already there. And then when you become a courtside reporter, you kind of just put it into words.
Mhm.
That's really all the process is, diba? Definitely
Yes.
not easy. That's why we have massive respect to all of you for being able to like come up with reports on the spot for like every game. And to do, I think you guys do one per quarter, no? Like
Yes, per quarter. One
I'm
per
like,
quarter.
oh, how? I don't understand it. I wouldn't be able to. My brain wouldn't be able to handle it. I'll just watch na lang in silence. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of go through FEU's basketball season. Because okay, FEU had one of those really like bittersweet seasons. Started off really, really slowly, and then when they picked up momentum, it was sunod-sunod na with like one or two roadblocks in the way, right? So I'll break down the season into like bits, and then after like every few like cluster of games, you can tell me like how the team was feeling, how you were feeling, how was the morale like in the dugout,
Okay.
how Coach Sean was dealing with everything. Because there were some games where I could see on the TV he was so stressed, but then there were other games where he was like jumping, and I was like, yes, that's what I love seeing from a basketball coach. Okay, so the first game of the season was against Ateneo, overtime
Mhm.
thriller. I remember I was waiting for the LaSalle game, so I was watching it on my phone. And then when it went into overtime, I was like, yes, FAU's gonna win. Because obviously, being from LaSalle, can't can't side with Ateneo, diba? So any team that's playing Ateneo were for them. And then Joric was just going crazy. I remember he shot a last second three off one
Point.
foot. I think he threw it in like that, and it still went in. And then if it wasn't for Jared Bahay and Kaimani, you guys would have won that game. I feel like because they won it by like five in overtime, something like that.
Yeah, parang close. Close game
Yeah,
siya.
I think at that point Mo was already so tired. Parang
Mm.
I remember he had to be subbed out for a little or something like that. I was like, sayang. So not a win, but honestly a really good showing. I remember watching all the sports podcasts after that, and then they were like, John Ray and Jork are gonna be one of the most dangerous
Yeah.
backcourt duos.
Something to look
And
out for.
yeah, honestly, it stayed true the whole season. So the next game was against LaSalle, so against us in QPAB, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I watched the whole game, and when LaSalle was up by like 13 in the third, I was like, wala na to. And then bigla na lang, FEU caught up. They made it within. I think they tied it. I think they tied it, or they got up by one, something like that, which really freaked me out. Because Joric and Mona naman, the unstoppable duo. January was like hitting Hail Mary three pointers. God, that game was so stressful for us. And then thanks to, well, for you guys, Cyan, because Joric missed the last inbound pass. I think it was like coming in from the left side. He was almost able to throw it in, but he missed it. And then
Yeah.
someone from the South got the rebound. So you guys lost by two only. So
Yeah.
another really, really close game. The next one, oh no, sorry, it was NU first. You guys
Oh,
played NU Muna before LaSalle. Yeah, that was when NU was on their like they were on something else. So they kind of blew you guys out. But January scored 16 points. Kirby Mungkopa, another shining star this season, 16 points also. Jorek scored 15. Neil Owens, the the magic bunot number, like the
yes.
fifth or like six man player that just pops in, always does this thing. But and you blew you guys out, which was not an uncommon thing because they pretty much blew out every team except for UP. That's the only team that
Yeah.
won against them in round one. So voila. Um, then you guys played. Sorry, I'm checking the dates here. You guys played Adamson and you stunned them there with a victory. That was your first win. So FEU is now 1-3. But it was a big, I think it was a big deal because Adamson had beaten UP. They almost beat LaSalle. Their showing was really good. And then you guys just stunned them with Mo Konate being the player of the game with a double-double, 18 points, 21 rebounds. So the first victory of FEU. So at this point, what is your team feeling? How are you feeling? Obviously, like after a slow start, and then you suddenly win one, it's a really big deal, right?
Yes, it's an insane experience from like going through all the losses, tapos suddenly winning like against Adamson. I remember I cried. I first cried nung against UP kasi parang ilang loss na namin, pang fourth ata? I'm not sure. Pero yeah, parang first win, that's like such a shame kasi parang first game, first loss, very sad to lose against Ateneo. They haven't won against us for like the past seasons. So like parang sabi ko shocks. Pero it was not that parang it didn't hurt as much. Kasi parang I know na kaya nila eh. Talagang, I don't know, siguro nabigla lang or I don't know. I'm not a player. Pero yeah, tapos coming with NU, I loved our NU game kasi as someone dating Bulldog, I really loved it. Like I really enjoyed watching the NU game. Pero at that time, we knew, like even the players knew na NU is a strong team. They were like really one of the best teams during the season. So, we low-key expected it, pero of course, syempre, laban pa rin. As they always say, laban lang daw ng laban. And then, against LaSalle naman, I was so excited kasi LaSalle, champion team, right? Tapos parang, nagulat talaga ako na our players can like go up against LaSalle, like even tying points and like they're really like on this almost the same level, I should say. And wala lang, they were just so excited to play against a championship team. Like I remember they're telling me na they were like really practicing and really training kasi they know na it's a championship, that they're a championship team, pero they also know that they can also go up against them. And then for UP, that's when I cried talaga kasi parang, I don't know, every time we go against UP, parang it's so tough. Like parang you can really feel the crowd. You can really feel the sports in action talaga. Like when it was against UP round 1, sabi ko, shocks. This is how it is pala in UAAP. Like, that's where everything sank in for me. Tapos, ayun, winning against Adamson, I'm super happy na we won talaga. Kasi yung standings ata namin nun, 2-5. Parang we won against Adamson and UE lang during the first round. Tapos, binaliktad na lang namin sa second round, 5-2 naman. Tapos, ayun, we were just so happy with the Adamson game kasi they were confident that time. Like, after so many losses, parang dun talaga na-boost yung morale nila. And something that changed with the Adamson game is everyone contributed. Kasi parang the first few games, it was always Joric, it was always Kirby or Mo or Janre. Pero during the Adamson game, dun na like lahat nag-contribute and parang dun nila in-acknowledge. And parang I remember prior to that game, parang they had a talk with Coach Sean, especially Janre and Joric. Parang they had a heart-to-heart talk. I wasn't able to ask like what is it about kasi private na yun. Pero parang I think that's when it clicked for them na as people or like as the players who the team looks up to, parang sila yung naging source of like fuel ng buong team. So, ayun, that's when they started really like giving it their all. from the Adamson game till the next. Tapos, ayun, hanggang sa round 2, yun, 7-7, 6-7 to 7-7, we ended the season with 7-7 standings. And it was so happy. We even won against LaSalle during round 2. So, that's insane. I cried also kasi first win, tas against the championship team pa.
I almost cried also, but we'll get to, we'll get to that. Okay, so right now your team is 1-4, 1-3. Yes,
Huh?
that's the fourth. That was the fourth game. So you lost against UP after, but only by 3. I remember I was also watching this on my phone because I think it was after the LaSalle NU game where Mason got
Injured.
injured. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I need to take my mind off. Let's see if like UP can lose. Because obviously we don't want like UP to make it also to the finals, diba? We don't want them to fight LaSalle again. I think it was because of like that was when Ray Ramogat was kind of finding his footing na talaga. So he was like, and I think Gani Stevens was the one that did it for you guys against Mo. Parang he got 2 fouls on Moata, something like that near the end,
Yeah,
and
he was
it kind of
POG. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of like disrupted everything. But still, 3 points only, another like really close. And then your next game was against UST, which I think they were coming off of their triple overtime. This was the game after that. So UST was like on a really hot streak. I think they only lost 2 games in the first round, right? They kind of blew you guys out 92-80, but January they still scored 22, which was still a really like impressive showing. Mo 19, Kirby 11, Jorik 11. And then you ended round 1 with another win against UE. You totally blew them out. Beat them by 19 with Jorik being the top scorer and January and Mo and Kirby getting double doubles. And then Jedrick Dao also scored 10. Also another one of the like magic picks of
Yeah.
FAU that just like can just blow up whenever he wants, right? So this is where round 1 ends. What is everyone thinking going into round 2?
Ayun, as I've said, parang going into round 2, they really had the confidence na. Kasi with the past games, like kahit madami kaming losses, like 5 losses, there were close games talaga eh. Like parang 2 points, 3 points, line difference. And alam nila na kaya nila. Parang dun nila parang may nag-switch kasi sa kanila during round 2 na parang they knew na they were capable, na they just really have to push through until the fourth quarter, until they end the game with like a lamang to the other team. Tapos, ayun, parang with that mindset, they were just able to proceed with round 2 with much more confidence na parang those tight games, those close games, they really wanted to prove themselves. And ayun, parang one team lang ata yung may malaking lamang sa amin. So, ayun, parang they really went around to with the mindset na kaya nila. Kasi nga, just believe. Yun, parang doon nila na pasok yung sinasabi ni Coach Sean from the start of the season pa lang, just believe. Kasi parang during round 1 lang talaga sila sa tiwala sa sarili. Like, they acknowledged it. Parang they know na kaya nila. Pero there's still the self-doubt. Pero during round 2, doon na nila na-apply yung just believe na sinasabi ni Coach Sean because of the heart-to-heart talk na. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it really takes time talaga for a team to like gel and really play as a collective unit talaga. Like you mentioned kanina, before only like a few players would do all the work. And then when the time came na the entire team contributed, di ba, dun nanalo. So talagang it really shows that basketball is, it's a team sport. Di ba? It's not like a one-man show talaga. And yun nga, yung mentality ng FEU nga was yung laban lang, di ba? Like you mentioned kanina. It's a good mentality to have. Kasi, despite like the losses and like the rocky start, I bet they took those nga as like learnings, to do better eventually. And, ayun nga, eventually you guys managed to turn it around nga. So yeah, that's cool. And just really embodying yung never give up mentality talaga. I think that's really important in not just in basketball but like sports, diba? And yeah, and it's good that you guys were managed to really turn things around and took everything that your coach really said to heart. Diba? It's really important talaga to have a coach that really inspires and lights a fire you know, on the team. So yeah. Okay, so before we move on to round two or like do a deeper dive in round two, since we kind of talked a little bit about it earlier, uh, let's do a game muna. Well, not really a game, but like more of like a fun segment. Parang halftime muna tayo. So
Okay.
ayun, we'll ask you like a couple of questions nga about UAP, and it should be fun, so we get to know you a bit more. So ayun. Okay, first question. So who's your favorite player from another team? So it could be, who's currently playing or somebody who's, not in
Yeah,
UAP
it can be
anymore.
a past player also from
Yeah,
like
pero
another
from
school.
another team, not FEU. Yeah.
Basketball player from another school.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Siguro, I'd say na lang, lagi ko tong sinasabi whenever someone asks me, si KQ.
Okay.
We all know, yeah, KQ. Kasi during the prime talaga of LaSalle and versus UP, lagi ko talagang pinapanood yung finals. Kaya even this season, the people from the broadcasting team, they were asking me, why are you watching live? Your team is not here. It's LaSalle versus UP. Sabi ko, even way before like the past seasons, I really, really love watching UP versus LaSalle games, lalo na pag finals. And KQ, iba talaga siya. Like,
Yeah,
he's
seeing
an
him live,
MVP.
it's
Yeah,
a
True.
experience talaga.
yeah. So yeah, I'd say KQ.
That's
Like
cool.
good
Like it really
answer.
shows the impact a player, like a single player can do. Like, kahit yung school most not playing, you still want to watch it live, diba? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it really shows that we're all like fans talaga here. And we just enjoy good basketball regardless, diba? Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, well, especially in round one, because in round two, you guys were kind of on a winning streak. But which team were you always nervous for FEU to go against? I'm
Um,
sure my single answer yan.
Meron. UP talaga. I don't know why. Like, kahit anong sports, UP, like, iba talaga yung feeling score kapag, basta iba yung nararamdaman ko, iba yung mood ko kapag UP yung kalaban. Like, any sports, especially football or basketball. Parang, I don't know, kasi sobrang galing din talaga ng UP. And the crowd also. UP crowd, they're a different, they're a
Breed.
different breed, yeah. Actually. So yeah, it's a
It's actually
UP.
true. Whenever it's against UP, parang you feel na championship match eh. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter like what round it is or like what sport talaga.
you
Whenever you
feel
see it's against
tense.
UP, you're kind of just like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
UP and UP and well, crowd wise, UP and UST take the
Oh
cake
yeah,
for
dude.
me.
UST is unreal.
Watching a
Yeah.
game between those two, man.
That was insane.
Okay, so ito naman, it's kind of the same question pero different in a way. Which player naman scared you whenever they had the ball against FEU?
Against FAU.
Ooh.
As soon as it gets to them, you're like, that's going in.
Yeah, you get nervous and stuff.
Siguro, I'd say Jacob Cortez.
Okay,
Like,
good answer.
parang,
Honestly, yeah, I understand.
like, even sa other teams, even if Jacob is playing with other teams, as long as he has the ball talaga, you'd know, like, you will pray na it won't make it in. But it always does. Kaya grabe talaga whenever Jacob is like in the court, parang, no, please no. So yeah, I'd say Jacob.
That was me with Jorik. That I was like, yeah, that's going in. As
True,
soon as
true.
he gets the ball, kahit yung mga midi float, like I was like, what is happening? It's not missing. Daya talaga. Hidden gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, what was your favorite moment from your team this season?
Ooh. Siguro, I'd say when we won against Lausanne. For me, it's historical. It's iconic. I feel like winning against a championship team. And with pure hard work talaga. Like, hindi lang siya basta-basta. Like, the game was so close.
Yeah, I
Naghahabulan sila
hated
ng
that game.
scores. It's insane. Tapos parang during the last few seconds, Kirby shot that two-pointer. Tapos LaSalle weren't able to like get a rebound. They weren't able to score the three-point shot. Tapos everyone was like cheering. Parang sabi nga ng coaches namin, it was like a finals game daw. Like when you're watching that game, it feels like a finals game, especially with the commentator. Para talaga yung pagko-commentate din. It was Jaime. When he was commentating, it felt like a finals game, and I feel like it's just such an amazing experience to have that kind of feeling. Tapos ayun nga, as I've said, naiyak din ako sa game na yun kasi the emotions were there talaga. Like parang they really worked hard for it to beat LaSalle. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess we do
Totally.
gotta relive that talaga. We have to relive it. I'll never forget that day talaga. That was our most painful loss from this season. Okay, all right.
Least favorite moment. Joke lang.
Worst moment from the season. That.
That, yeah.
Okay. So coming into the second round with 2 wins and 5 losses, you started it with, I think, Ateneo again,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you beat them. I remember watching this on Peanuts Live. Those were the two corner threes of Jorik that fucking made it inside. Yeah, and this is when Divine Adili was injured. So I think Mo could kind of he had the freedom to do like a lot of other stuff. Although I remember he was like getting fouled a lot also near the end. Parang they took him out for a bit. But that didn't really matter because once those threes came in, that was it. So you beat them by 7 points, 75-68, with Jorik being the top scorer. But Kirby also scored 16 and 9 in January, double double, 15-13, with Mo also 15-17. So now you're 3-5. Yes. And then next was against UP. They kind of pulled away with it. I remember watching this in fragments, and then once UP was kind of really ahead, now I was like,
Wala
sayang
na.
next game,
Yeah.
next game na lang. But then, like
Next
what you said,
season.
right? It's stressful talaga fighting UP. And then your next one was Adamson again, overtime. I think it was overtime. I remember
Yeah.
watching the end of
Yeah.
this because I think Mati Montebon tied it, and then I
Yeah,
think
with
this is where, yeah,
clutch. Yeah.
this is where Kirby just like went off. Also, I think this was one of his best
Best games.
best games. And then Montemayor also 11 points. This
Oh
was
yeah.
a yeah,
Iconic like this.
yeah. This was one of those games that when I was done, I was like, this was so well deserved. But like, I don't know what I was watching. You guys beat them by 3. Super impressive win. So now you're
5.
4-6.
Yeah, 4 and
Tama ba?
6.
4 and
Yeah.
6. And then NU after, of course, it's NU. So the expectation was always that NU is gonna beat any opponent. It's really playing spoiler talaga if you beat NU. But they beat you guys by 14. But January still got top scorer, 15 points, 8 assists. Kirby and Mo also 10 points, and then Mo is 5 and 15. Anytime the rebounds are above 10, I'm already like, this is a good game. Kahit the FSA scores like below 10, doesn't matter. And then yun, so now you're 4 and 7. So this is like the crunch time of FEU where the stats really matter now because the order of
Yeah.
the rankings will determine who stays in the final four, diba? And this was when LaSalle was on their well, they had a 4 game winning streak and then they had just lost to NU
Mhm.
before this. The famous 1 point loss, which for me, honestly, was like the most probably the best game that FEU played this season, but also the most
Actually,
painful
yeah.
loss of LaSalle. I remember us watching this on my phone, and near the end, it was so close. I remember because
Yeah.
every time LaSalle would pull away, Joric would score some kind of like midi shot, and then Jedrick Dao also made all his threes. I think he made two in a row in the fourth quarter or something like that, and I was getting really worried. So I was walking around with my phone. LaSalle was up by one. Kirby made that 2 point shot, and then they got the ball back. I
Yeah.
remember the inbound of FEU because I think LaSalle turned it over or something.
Yeah.
FEU was gonna get the ball back. Earl stole it ata, or either Pablo or Earl got it back,
Mhm.
gave it to Jacob. Jacob tried to go for the last shot. It missed. And
Was it
then
Jacob? I think it was
yeah,
JC. The
it
JC.
was no, sorry, it was Jacob. He tried to shoot it from right below the basket. They
The
kicked it back out.
Mhm.
JC got it,
Mhm.
shot a three, it missed. And
Yeah.
it was unguarded. I remember that. I was like, this is going in, and then it didn't. And then Pabs tried to get it back, it missed. And then yun, final
And
buzzer. I remember Coach
yeah.
Sean's face. He was like, yes. And I remember Pabs was like crying, and there's too many things that were happening. But I was in utter disbelief that I had witnessed. This is the first time kasi Laval lost by one in like a
Mhm.
really long time. So like it was so impressive to me that FEU was able to pull this off. It not only pulled down the
Games.
ranking of LaSalle, but it kept them alive. This was a
Yeah. Big
big
game.
one because you
Yeah.
guys went 5-7, yeah. And then after that was UE, who you beat by 7 also. Neil Owens got 10 points. Jorick top scorer. January Mo Kirby. And then your last game to keep your season alive and to mess up the. This was the one talaga that, like, I was like, I
Crucial,
really,
crucial.
yeah, I mean, we don't wish anything ill on FEU, but like LaSalle needed to make it, and FEU was gonna be a big obstacle if they had
Yeah.
won this game kasi and LaSalle had lost to Ateneo, there would have
Yeah.
been a tournament again
Yeah.
to
Playoff.
get the spots,
Yeah.
diba?
Mhm.
And I remember because we watched the Ateneo game live. I was in the car monitoring the
Mhm.
FEU
Yes.
UST game. And for a while, when FEU was up by like double digit, I was like, "What is happening? Why does UST like? Why are they not playing properly? Why is FEU just blowing them out of the water?" And then the closer we got to the to Araneta, the more USD was catching up, which made it even worse. Because I was like, if you're gonna win, just like win already. Because I I'm already expecting FEU to make it through this game. Like knowing the basketball gods, they're gonna be like, we want more basketball, so we're gonna
Yeah.
make FEU win. USC almost caught up. I think
Yeah.
Jello Crisostomo did some last minute 3 points. Nick also scored a three with like 12 seconds left or something like that. But because of George's free throw, you guys were able to win by two. So that got you in to at least the playoff spot if LaSalle
Yeah.
had lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, before, because we saw that Kirby and I think January were watching the Ateneo LaSalle game, praying for the loss of LaSalle so that they'd make it in. What is your team feeling right now? Because the standings are still to be decided, but you guys almost swept the second round. So how's everyone feeling? What's Coach Sean saying? Like if this is your last game, if it's not your last game, what's gonna
Well, for Coach Sean, he just really advised the team to take it as it is. So parang their mindset was like it's out of their control. Kasi the UST game was done na eh. So whatever happens, happens. So parang it's not in their control. So it's just what it is. Parang yun lang yung naging mindset nila na it is what it is. If they lose, if Lasal loses, then playoffs. Pero if Lasal wins, then it's just what it is. Next season na lang. So parang yun lang yung inulit-ulit ni Coach Sean sa team. Even when they were watching, parang they had no expectations at all. They weren't siding with anyone now. Pero ayun, parang they just kept like everything open kasi parang they didn't want to expect that Ateneo wins tapos may playoffs pero when LaSalle wins, they're gonna be heartbroken because they expected Ateneo to win. So parang ngayon, they just really kept it simple, take it as it is. Parang, yun nga, sabit na lang talaga ni Coach on. It's not under their control na. Like, they did their part. Parang ganun. So parang, for them, they did what they can the whole season. So that's it.
Did they have a last like meeting? Since technically the team didn't know that the UST game was the last game, did you guys get to meet up like one more time after that to kind of debrief or like sit with the reality?
Well, for the team, they had a team dinner, but I wasn't able to go. Pero aside from that, we also met when I went to FEU Diliman for to host their Christmas party. So that's when I got to talk to the team again. That's when I asked them how they were, ganyan. Tapos parang, ayun, catch up lang. Tapos, ayun, pero other than that game, we weren't able to meet for a while. Pero we went out also.
Yeah, but I think all in all, like despite yung bittersweet ending to the season, I really think FEU is one of the teams to watch talaga in the next couple of seasons, especially since, di ba, yeah, like nung first round, di ba, you guys didn't have like the greatest start, and then eventually you turned it around, and even in round two, almost until LaSalle won, of course, almost went to the playoffs nga. So it really shows na this team has like lots of potential. The ceiling is really high. And I think if they maintain yung mentality nga of just taking games, day by day and just really playing team basketball, yeah, I think you guys are gonna be in really good position in the next coming season. So yeah, honestly, yeah, a lot of teams this season like had really good storylines. But kung titingnan mo yung buong like how the season panned out for most of the schools, it was like a roller coaster experience talaga. Like lots of lows, lots of highs. But then eventually in the end, parang it was very fulfilling pa rin for the respective team. And it's something that they'll take into the next season, build upon, parang ganun. So yeah, it was
No,
pretty
no,
cool.
Johnny got the MVP.
Yeah,
That's the
MVP.
big win of FEU. Yeah. Second year pa lang, no? He was only a sophomore. Grabe. What the heck?
That's the crazy. Yeah, it worked out in the end, but then, sure you didn't, win the championship or whatever, di ba? Pero sometimes it's not really the end all be all of a single season. Sometimes you just have to take the season you got and then
Make the
work from there.
most out of it, yeah.
Ayun. Okay, so I guess to kind of like, wrap things up also for our little podcast here, we're gonna shift the focus back to you again and ask you like a reflective question, parang retreat-esque, parang ganun. So throughout the entire experience nga, or at least for like yung basketball experience, what were you able to take away from it, and how or when did you notice your growth as a person and as a courtside reporter?
Okay, so first question muna yung what did I learn or take from the basketball season. And with the players kasi, with the team, I got so attached to them talaga. Kasi parang that's how I learned yung heart, like to really do the sport. Kasi especially with their bond, especially Kirby, January, and Jedrick, they go way back like high school. And parang with their kind of bond, even the others din naman, galing din sa high school nila. And with that kind of bond, parang nandun talaga yung puso, yung brotherhood na you won't let go, you won't blame them also kapag nagkamali or kapag may hindi nagawang tama. Like, you will just keep on bringing each other up. Parang you're gonna help each other up para makapunta kayo sa gusto niyong marating. And that's what they also say, na parang as long as they do it all together, they know na they can compete like to the Final Four or maybe even the championships as long as they're trusting each other. Like, yun talaga yung mindset nila na parang just believe. That's like my whole take from the season talaga. Just believe in yourself, in your teammates, in the coaches, and kay God, especially kay God. I'm so happy na the team was really having God also at the center during the whole season. And I feel like that was also a big help for them. And yeah, moving on to the next question, I feel like my growth naman as a courtside reporter, I feel like um I know now how to really get the emotions, or like how to get the real stories from our athletes, na parang I'm there for the connection. I'm there to like really know them, to really know their stories as a player and what motivates them. I'm there to know, yun nga yung sinasabi kong heart or puso. And parang right now, na-apply ko siya into the volleyball season na to make the content of my reports better, I have to know the players or the team better. So yeah, that's how I've grown as a correspondent. More on the connection talaga with the players. With my reports, I just really focus on the content. So connection leads to content, and content, that's when the delivery comes. And that one, I'm still working on it. So yeah, I feel like mas ina-acknowledge ko ngayon yung mga kailangan ko pang i-improve from the last SEM or the last season, the basketball season. So,
I think
Love
you're doing
that.
a good job.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. All of
Yeah,
you
you're
are.
so well spoken. What are you talking about?
Oh. Yeah, I love it to say you guys are the ones who humanize the players, nga, diba? And to help build a connection to the people watching, and that's why we have you guys on the show, so that people who may stumble upon this can also hear what you guys have to saying about the things that you guys do and why you do it, diba? Because you guys aren't just there to like, report lang, like wala lang, diba? Parang just reporting. You guys, bridge the gap between the people watching and the players, and so that the people watching can connect better nga with the players and who they are, their goals, so that when they see them win or even when they see them lose, they know why the players feel the way that they do in those moments. So yeah, that's galing.
Yeah, definitely not an easy thing to do. So to be the voice of like, of athletes who don't really get to express everything that they're feeling. You kind of just see their reactions to things happening, and then that's all you have to work on. But being the CSR, especially for a particular team, right, to be able to share that voice of everyone that you interact with and get to relay it to the audience makes everyone appreciate sports so much more, because it's different hearing it be said than just seeing it for what it is and then guessing how everyone feels, right? Like,
Yeah,
for the times that the players feel so down, but then they're still able to keep a straight face, and then you're able to convey that for them. Like, that's such a special thing and a special bond. And I think the whole reason why like we have CSRs to
Yeah,
begin with.
that's the
So
whole
that's
point.
yes, exactly. Like what Mon said, you guys are the bridge between the players and the audience. So we really respect and appreciate everything that you guys do and what you've been doing for the FEU community. I'm sure everyone's so grateful to have you as our courtside reporter. You're doing a really great job. I don't know, Mon, you want to add anything?
Yeah, and ano ba? And I also like what you said, you're still learning then. Di ba? Even though like one part of your journeys ended na like with basketball, you're still learning, continuously learning, going into volleyball. And ayun, we just want to say like, first of all, congrats sa successful like first part nga. And good luck. And we know you're gonna do well currently with the volleyball season. It's also a pretty fun uh sport to watch. And yeah,
Yeah,
just
FEU is doing well also.
yeah, they're doing well also. So yeah.
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 So thanks so much for being here with us, Jury. We really appreciate your time, and it was so fun having you here with us.
Thank you for the invite.
All right.
Yeah.
So this has been another UAP Talk episode of the Screw Up Sessions slash No New Friends UAP collab. We will see you guys in the next episode.